It's Blake here at Trade Tracer. As always, this video is going to help you get prepared for the market opening tomorrow. None of this is financial advice. Always trade and invest at your own risk. All right, so I want to start it off here with the S&P, and the S&P has hit all of our bogeys in this uptrend. You can see these levels in here are here for a guide. And last week, we kind of consolidated between two of our levels. Thursday looked like we wanted to break trend, rallied the entire day when we got that gap down, closed back above the cloud. So technically, we held the trend. And then on Friday, got a gap up and just rallied all day long. So this is very bullish price action. I am not going to pick a top. I am going to stay long versus my stops. The NASDAQ is in a 25-day uptrend. And if you've been listening to me and how we trade in our strategy, we always get long the index first, and we hold until we break trend. So on June 4th, we went into an uptrend, and we've been long for the past 25 trading days. That's over a month worth of in regular non-trading hours. So the entire month of June and into July essentially has been very bullish. We've been getting paid so long as you've just stayed long the index. So if you're not getting paid, you need to review some of my intro videos and welcome videos as to how we trade the indexes, because you guys know that's my primary strategy. I always get long the index first. Once we have an uptrend, after we're long the index, then I start allocating new risk exposure to trades from the daily trading playbook. So I've been long the NASDAQ since the 7th. So we confirmed price strength confirmation on the 7th, went back into an uptrend, and we've just been getting paid so long as you've been patient. Same thing with the S&P. The S&P is looking very, very strong. We've hit all of our bogeys. Are we a little extended? Yeah, I could say we're a little extended. Could we see a pullback? Sure, but I'm not picking a top because we have leadership, and that's what we've been waiting for, is some new leadership. The Dow Jones as well. Dow Jones looked like we wanted to break trend. Guess where we rallied from? Right from this pivotal level, this 342.26 on the DIA. And guess where we closed? Right at the next level. So I think we could continue to see this market just rotate between tech, between industrials, between the small caps. And as long as we just keep seeing this rotation, these rotation days, this market wants much, much higher. Let's take a look at bonds really quick. Bonds, if we pull up the 200-day moving average, you can see it's precisely where we got rejected. So came to the 200-day moving average. This was a massive short squeeze. A lot of bears were in this trade. People started pressing short down here and caused this little squeeze up to this 200-day moving average. Once we hit this, backed off. This trade is over. And granted, it was never on our trading playbook because I'm not bullish bonds. I'm not bearish bonds. I think it's just a hands-off trade. But we should keep an eye on bonds. See if we can get back above Thursday's high. If we can, could be a potential long, but not our focus for the time being. Gold looks really sloppy. Gold is back below the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs, hanging out inside the cloud. We're starting to see a little bit more momentum go into these precious metals, not going to be our focus. Semis look like they can, maybe start to get a little more of a bid here. You can see we had a trigger on here above here, got paid, broke trend, and now we're trying to recoup these this break of trend here. Ideally, we want to see price back above the 454, 455 level on SOXX before we can add new long market exposure. What's going on with Cathie Wood's ARK funds? Well, they are bouncing from the anchored VWAP from this pivotal low. This was an interesting point that really the status quo changed. So you can see it's held us support multiple times. That's exactly where we bounced from. Back above this, 125 pivot. So above 125, that's a positive sign. But you guys know I want to see us back above this 132 before we can add new long market exposure. We want to see that price strength confirmation. Banks are looking a little weak, right? I mentioned that oil and banks were losing momentum and losing steam. We needed some new leadership. But right now, this is somewhat, you could argue it's a double bottom, and we're coming back into this cloud. Banks are going to be kicking off earnings season, so probably not going to be our focus. So keep a close eye on banks. What is our focus? FANG. FANG is by far our focus. This is going to be where we are focusing on this week and potentially next week if we can continue to see this strength play out. All right, so we've been long Apple since 130.6. These July calls, very, very much in the money. We had the 125 calls. You're $20 in the money now. So you should be sitting pretty. And this is nothing more than a bull flag near all-time highs. So above this pivot, the 145.25 pivot, I think Apple has a lot more meat left on the bone. So this could be a press. And when we say press, we're adding long. And if we look at the weekly time frame, we have a fresh MACD bullish crossover. And when we get these fresh MACD bullish crossovers, good things happen. All right. So good things happen when we get momentum on a weekly time frame in our favor, especially when we're confirming price strength above a previous week's high. So Apple looks very, very good. I know it does have earnings coming up in a few weeks. So, we don't trade into event risk, but you still got some time on this trade. I think earnings are July 27th. So above Friday's high, I will likely be pressing my current calls on Apple. So I really like Apple heading into this week. One of my other favorites, guess what, is Amazon. Amazon, we've had two different entries, right? So we had an original entry above this 33.66 level, got paid. If you wanted to hold, you could, because if you want, once you scale, put your stop at your entry. If you did that, you never got stopped out. Then we had a second add above this candle's high, above the 35.24 level. And when that happened, that was a signal to really go ahead and get long, because this just erupted. Our two price targets, we had 35.54 and 36.49. Both of those price targets were met in the same day. That's a ton of momentum. And guess what's happening now? Nothing more than a bull flag at all-time highs. So if we can get back above this previous high that we put in on Thursday, the 37.60 level, I will be pressing long Amazon. You want to stay in the trades that have momentum, that are working, that are leading the market. You don't want to be a bottom feeder. You want to put the odds in your favor. And the best way to do that is to follow the trends, follow the momentum that's leading the market. And right now, that momentum is in Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, Netflix, your FANG stocks, right? So my focus is going to be Apple and Amazon for this week. I'm already long both, and I will probably add to that long market exposure if we can confirm price strength. So I wanted to touch on that before we really went into anything else. So FANG is our focus this week. I do expect the NASDAQ to continue this massive uptrend. If we do confirm price strength confirmation, I will add long. And you can see once again on the weekly time frame, we have momentum on our side once again. Are we deviated from that 10 MA? Sure. But am I picking a top? Am I shorting the market? Heck no. I'm staying long and I'm pressing long if price tells me to. All right. Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch a little bit on crypto here. Bitcoin is still hanging out right around this 30. It's holding the 30,000 level. We need to get it back above the 39,000 level until it can clear. Well, let's call it, if you want an early entry on Bitcoin, I'm going to give you one. If you want an early entry on Bitcoin, it needs to get back above this candle's high, which is, let's see, 36,600. So above 36,600, which is roughly right there, you're back above the cloud. You've got momentum on your side above this level. I think it's a very, very likely that we come and tag this 39 and more than likely come up to the 41,000 level. So keep a close eye on Bitcoin. Once again, I'm not getting long yet, but if we do see price above this 36.6, I'll probably go ahead and take a stab at a long. Ethereum, similar story. It's below the cloud. We got rejected at the top of the cloud right here. It's held this anchored VWAP. This is the year-to-date anchored VWAP, and it's also held this price inflection point around the 1800 level. But I won't be getting long Ethereum until it can clear this pivot. This pivot is 2400, so above 2409, right? This 2400 level. That's when I'll go ahead and be getting long Ethereum once again. And it's the same story, guys. We're back above the cloud. We've got momentum on our side with Ethereum. Same thing with Bitcoin. Back above the cloud, got momentum on your side above this level. We want to trade when the odds are in our favor. We don't want to be bottom feeders. We don't want to pick a bottom. I'd rather wait, let everybody else figure that out, and I'm going to hop on the train when the momentum kicks in. So just to wrap up the S&P making new all-time highs, this is very, very bullish price action. I'd be surprised if this doesn't go higher. NASDAQ, same story. NASDAQ looks very strong as well. We're in a 25-day uptrend, and we have new leadership with Apple. Let me pull up Apple real quick. We have new leadership with Apple, so Apple looks very good. I will, like I said, press long above above Friday's high. Amazon, same story. I'll press long above Thursday's high. These two trades have paid us very, very nicely. $25 in the money on $20 in the money on Apple and Amazon. We had two different entries, and we're over a couple $100 in the money on Amazon. So both of these trades are bright green, have a very low probability of going red. Put your stop at maybe a previous pivot. Amazon, you could maybe put it at Thursday's low. Apple, you could put your stop also probably at Thursday's low. And if you really just wanted to hold on to it until we break trend, nothing has happened that should really shake you out of this trade. Stay long versus your stops. Don't pick a top. Ride the trend. Get momentum on your side. It's a simple system. It's a simple strategy. The hardest thing to do is simply executing it. So if you're not getting paid, if you haven't gotten paid this uptrend, you got to take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, what did you do wrong this uptrend? And also feel free to give me a shout. I'm here for you. I'm here for your help. Take care, guys. We'll talk soon.